Hi, this is Lisa with Paper Pastiche, and I'm coming to you with our 7th card in our 12 Days of Christmas Card series. And I have today for you a cute little easel card. You just fold it in half and it sits up like that, and then it can sit out on display and you can see it. I have a couple little variations here for you. Here's a snowman done with a scalloped die, and this one's done with the Spellbinders Labels 4. Okay, let's get started. So the things that I am using today, I am using Spellbinders Nestabilities, the Labels 4, the Spellbinders Petite Scallop Circles Large, and a stamp set that I'm using just for the sentiment, although I think any of these other stamps will work good for your focal object. But I'm just using the sentiment, hope your Christmas is so much fun. And then you will need some ink for your stamp and some die cuts. The ones that I am using are snowflake die cuts that are from Sizzix. These are pretty older snowflakes. Here you can see them a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm using this labels punch from Stampin' Up. You will also need some double-sided adhesive, a bone folder, maybe a pick-me-up stick, scissors, and some Stampin' Dimensionals. And okay, let's get started. So the next thing you're going to need is your paper. I'm using all pattern paper for this particular project. You'll need one at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8 on the 8.5 inch side. So that means when you score it, you want to lay it this way. And then you will need one at 4 by 5 1/4, scored on the 4 inch side at 2. And then you'll need another strip. This is at 1.5 by 5.5. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is lay your paper on the 8.5 inch side, and you're going to score at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. Okay. All right. And then you're going to take your 4 by 5 1/4 piece, and you're going to turn it to the 4 inch side and score it at 2 inches. Okay. So next we're going to fold this in half and burnish. Oh, that did not fold that well at all. I think it walked around a little bit whenever I was scoring. Let's see if I can get it a little bit better than that. There we go. Okay. And this one, so we folded it in half. And then basically we're just folding it in half again. And burnish. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do here is make this little flap here. And to do that, we need our cuddle bug and our die cuts. Now I'm sure there's several different ways of doing this. I am going to show you how I do it. So I cut both of my pieces here, for the larger size, together at the same time. So I'm going to put those down there. And then in my case, I'm going to use the scallop circles. So I have a little bit of washi tape in here to help hold it in place. Okay, so you want to be sure that you're cutting at this line here that's at the 2 inch line and the 2 and the 1/8 inch line. So you want to make sure that those are lined up on your fold, and then center your die cut, top to bottom, left to right. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, So then the next thing I'm going to do is I have an A plate and a B plate on here. The next thing I'm going to do is take my C plate and feed it mostly through here, but I'm going to have it line up the edge of the plate right with my score lines there. Okay, so you want to be sure your papers are as straight as you can get them and line up the edge of your plate right with those score lines. And then feed it through. You can run it all the way through because it's going to stop cutting right where that plate is. And then you'll end up with something like this. And then it's going to fold like that. Okay? And then, now the same thing on this one. So I do this so that they line up together. But the next thing that I'll have to do is take my one size smaller die and line that up. And then I can run this through like I did the first ones. But I only have to do the one piece this time. So the most important thing is just to make sure that the C plate is lined up with that score line and then run it through. Okay, so we are done with the Cuttlebug now. Okay, so what we will do is fit this on top of here, and this you can fold back and you have an extra little decorative area down there. Now, if you don't want that on there, you can just cut it off, but I think it adds a nice little touch. So I am going to make sure that everything is lined up here. That's why we cut them together, to ensure that they would line up well. Okay, I'm going to fold that back and put some adhesive on here. And then put that over. And then I'm going to flip this side back and put some adhesive on there. But I'm going to fold it like this to ensure that it will fold. Okay, so for this little piece here, I'm going to use just a little bit of wet glue. And you know, it's on this. It's nice that I have this white, you know, contrasting here with my pattern paper. Or if you have a double-sided pattern paper, it might look nice with that too. Okay. So I'm also going to put a little bit of adhesive on here so that those two stay together. And the next part is pretty simple too. Now I have to find my, here it is, my 1.5 by 5.5 inch piece, and I have some pop dots or Stampin' Dimensionals on there. And we will put this on the inside of our card right here at the very bottom. And with those dimensionals on there, it acts as like a stop there. So then you can take whatever image that you have and put it on here. You could put a stamped image. This one I cut out from my paper. Sometimes it's nice they give you all these cutouts now to use on things. So these are, I've used some of these cutouts here. This one was a tag shape, but I just cut it out to fit my project. So then I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of here and center it. And then I have already stamped my sentiment here. So hope your Christmas is so much fun. But I want to mat it, but this, there isn't a larger size. So the trick to this is to cut this in half, put a little adhesive on each side, and then just leave a little bit of room here and stick it on. So same thing on this side, a bit of room and stick it on. And I am also going to put a Stampin' Dimensional on this too. So I'm going to cut this one in half. One of the reasons I'm kind of cutting it in half, I'm going to leave an empty space in the middle, is because on our card base here, there is a Stampin' Dimensional here in the middle. And so these will kind of straddle that, and then it won't really add that much more height to my overall project. Okay, and there you are. Very quick and easy card for today. So I had a request too. I recently participated in a cookie exchange, and I found this on Pinterest, and I had wanted to share it. I found it on Pinterest, and it was on there. It's a cookie holder by One Good Thing by Jilly.com, and I'll put this in the notes below the video. But it's very simple to make. I think I simplified it a little bit more than hers even. In my case, all I did is I made 2 slits to make this little flap here, and 2 slits on this side to make the little flap here. And then you fold this up, tuck these under, and then grab your stapler. She used tape. I'm using a couple staples. I think it'll be more secure that way. So do the same thing on this side. So in about 30 seconds, you've got this, which is really good. I decided to take it one step a little bit further and fold down one side. If it's not standing up very good, which this one's not doing too bad, you can just square these off a little bit under here. But I don't think it, really you need to go and fold them. So then I took a half sheet of tissue paper. I cut it in half and put it inside of here. And then how I address this issue is I have a large scalloped snowflake here. And I put the scalloped snowflake on first, stapled it, and then took my sentiment, put it on here. And then with cookies, I have 6 cookies in here, and 6 fits very easily. I'm sure you could fit a little bit more. Maybe not a full dozen, but for sure 8 or 10. So this is Lisa with Papers Pastiche, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.